At an Italian resort, the beautiful Stone, who is a super spy, now has to take on a bossy position to carry out a mission of the century. That is the arrest of the most wanted international drug dealer in Europe on a day that could not be more beautiful than today. While Stone was adding the avatars of 2 of his teammates to the party's guest list, due to not paying full network fees, there was a slight technical error. And if she wants to get hold of all the data, she must come within 5 meters of the security chief to continue her work. The hairy-mouthed guy next to Stone thought that she was like a bewildered golden deer. If she went to the scene and interacted with some old foxes, it would be very dangerous. But the opportunity only comes once. If she misses it, it will likely be a long time before this boss shows up again. Hai Fong is not around the corner. She directly left the car and went inside. Grabbed yourself a glass of vitamins and drink it aggressively to get motivated. Then sat at a table to play Red and Black, just enough distance to hack into the security chief's phone. She attentively continued to hack into the security system without realizing that she was in the sights of a guard. He immediately went to Pat Stone to check. "It's because I don't understand the rules of the game, that's why I took the trouble to research it. I've won. I'll ask for your permission to roll over." At this point, Stone has finished hacking the entire system. Her 2 colleagues immediately entered the boss's party. Because their identities were added to the system by Stone, they easily bypassed the bodyguards outside. Stepping inside, there were not only drug lords but also high-ranking officials who hid their salaries from their wives to play cards. This is an underground casino for criminals, where they bet on everything in the world. Even America's top-secret military campaign was leaked and became a betting topic. At this time, the female colleague named Yang took out a needle, intending to make the subject go to bed early and then pick him up. However, she was discovered by the boss's bodyguards. Immediately, a chaotic battle broke out. With only 2 bare-handed agents fighting against the bodyguards at this casino, it seemed a bit difficult. The 2 sides rushed to play bloody. These bodyguards seemed like they were just on their first day of work, so they were beaten up by their 2 wives. Taking advantage of the chaos, the 3-legged and 4-legged boss escaped, so they split up and took action. Yang stayed behind to handle the chaos while Parker pursued the target. To aid Parker, Stone decided to cut the power in the building, plunging it into darkness as dark as her luck. Parker, equipped with night vision goggles, managed to subdue the remaining bodyguards and successfully apprehended the crime boss. However, life is never fair, and things don't always go smoothly. Suddenly, everyone's earpieces emitted a terrifying, eerie noise. It turned out their communication system had been breached by a woman who had hacked into their system. She boldly raised her glass, seemingly challenging them to see who was the better hacker, and then disappeared without a trace using some sort of stealth technique. With no way to contact their teammates, Parker decided to take the crime boss to the cable car to descend from the mountain. However, Young noticed that the boss's men were closing in fast. If they continued at this pace, all 3 of them would end up with a one-way ticket to the underworld. So, Parker and Stone needed to get there quickly to support him. As they rushed to the vehicle, Stone pretended to twist her ankle, telling her teammates to go ahead while she stayed behind. Immediately afterward, she stood up and put on an artificial intelligence communication device. In reality, Stone was an agent of an organization called the Legion, embedded within MI6 to gather intelligence. The AI known as AL informed her that based on their calculations, Yang's team would not make it in time, and there was a 93% chance that they would be removed from the Earth. Stone was now compelled to rescue them. She requested a parachute to jump down immediately and asked GPT for directions. Stone rushed out, then grabbed someone else's parachute. In the blink of an eye, she transformed into a flight captain and moved in the direction that AL had drawn. It announced that the boss's bodyguards had arrived, so she had to take a shortcut to catch up. Unexpectedly, while having fun, the string of her guitar broke and she got caught in Vietnam's tangled electric cables. The electric explosion caused the boss to rebel against the agent. The situation was so dangerous that she had to cut the parachute rope and then slide down the cable. Following AL's advice, Stone borrowed the car but forgot to return it, then drove all the way to help his teammates. On the cable car, the boss and Parker were still having fierce intercourse. Below, the boss's bodyguards began to move. The support guy from the gendarmerie said that the top priority was not to expose her cover. It took a lot of effort to get her into MI6. If it was revealed, it would be in vain. AL reported that there are a total of 6 super talented people. Saw a sniper intending to use a gun to finish off Parker. She immediately changed direction and drove at lightning speed through the forest in time to rescue him. The sniper shot Parker first but was lucky to miss. Right when he was about to shoot the second shot, she drove her car and hit him with the whole car. After that, it was as easy as eating porridge to take down one more guy. Thanks to the help of AL, she learned the location of the assassins and defeated them. If you shoot at each other and see the other person first, who can play against you? It's like shooting through a wall in a raid. At this time, Parker had finished dealing with the boss, just learned that 2 friends of MI6 had arrived. They checked around around and couldn't see the enemy anywhere, so they seemed confused. But there was no time to get suspicious, they arrested the boss and left. But suddenly he kept foaming at the mouth like a dog eating bait, and this incident was beyond AL's expectations. Stone was still hiding below to avoid revealing information. When they returned to headquarters, the whole team was scolded by the boss because the plan failed. The boss died. The plan to exploit information from him was also considered abandoned. Furthermore, the team's overbearing girl is still unknown. That night, everyone went out drinking to relieve bad luck. They discussed that it was very possible that the person who broke into the system was from an organization called Hien Quan, is a group of independent former intelligence agents, including the best agents in the world, not following any country or political line, specializing in handling crises without government permission. Stone said goodbye to them because it was bedtime. Back at home, Stone reviewed the surveillance footage from the previous day and discovered that the hacker had intentionally revealed her attractive avatar. This confirmed that the mysterious woman was not to be underestimated. To investigate her further, Stone decided to visit the headquarters of the Legion. The organization was structured according to the suits of playing cards, with 4 teams representing the clubs, diamonds, hearts, and spades. The leaders of these 4 teams were known as the 4 Elders, who also served as the organization's executive leadership. Operatives were ranked based on their abilities, and Stone was the representative of the 9 of clubs, the most elite agent in the club team. The leader of her team, known as the Elder of Clubs, had rescued and trained Stone when she was just a child. They possessed a supercomputer named Quan Ko, King of Clubs, with the ability to hack into any data network to search for information or take control. Furthermore, it could process millions of calculations per second, allowing it to predict future possibilities. Thanks to this, the Legion easily identified the hacker in the MI6 system. Her name was Kia, a computer prodigy, and arguably the best hacker among former club members. However, her true motives remained a mystery. AL predicted that Kia would be in Portugal within the next 24 hours, but Stone felt that something was amiss in this situation. She believed it could be a trap set by Kia. However, the Elder of Clubs disagreed, stating that the hypotheses provided by Quan Ko were always accurate because it was 1,000 times more intelligent than any human. She also insisted on revealing this information to MI6 so they could apprehend Kia. On that evening when Stone returned home, he was eating instant noodles when he received a message from Kia challenging him to find her. If he could hack into her computer, he could consider it his victory. The morning after, Stone and the MI6 team headed to Portugal to search for Kia. When Young noticed that Stone wasn't feeling well due to motion sickness, she quickly switched places with him. The whole team took a temporary break in a house to prepare before starting the mission. Unexpectedly, while they were on the roof catching a chicken to the tune of Vina Hey, a smoke bomb was thrown. Parker got caught in the explosion and was rendered unconscious. AL informed them that there were 6 assassins approaching, led by a blonde man who deployed his subordinates. The guy with facial hair hurriedly dragged Parker to safety. Stone and Young also found a safe spot. Young reassured her to stay calm and then provided cover fire while she escaped. Despite the Hien Quan's rule that forbade emotional attachments or friendships during missions, these teammates had treated her exceptionally well, so Stone had grown fond of them. Even though her friends were in a brawl, gasping for air, she had to pretend to be a vulnerable computer expert. Following AL's guidance, Stone had a chance to escape alone, but that would leave the MI6 team in danger. She couldn't bear that, so she defied orders and returned to rescue them. She leapt through the window, subdued one of the assailants, and slammed another against the wall, showcasing her combat skills as a top-notch agent. The 3 team members who witnessed this were in awe and shock. Then they quickly left, while the enemies outside continued to close in. There was no time for explanations. Stone led the team to run, evading enemy pursuit. Tot Quan Tat, they managed to get into a nearby G63 vehicle. The blonde guy and his gang were relentless, pursuing them like hungry leeches. She had to perform some impressive driving maneuvers, weaving through enemy traffic. Yang directly confronted her, questioning why she had deceived them. At that moment, it was better to keep the gas pedal to the floor rather than ask questions. When the enemy motorcycle riders closed in, Yang made a sharp turn, allowing Yang to open fire on the pursuers. The chase turned the streets into complete chaos. Her G63 was like those fearless drivers in Vietnam, making everyone on the road fear for their lives. Finally, Stone executed a gentle steering maneuver that caused 2 of the enemy vehicles to lose control and crash into a scrapyard. The blonde man knew he couldn't catch her, so he had to watch her drive away in frustration, revving up to level 9 annoyance and level 10 fury. She successfully cut them off. After this incident, Stone's identity was, of course, exposed. She had to confess to everyone that she worked for the Hien Quan. Surprisingly, Parker pulled out his gun and shot down the other 2 members. Stone was also surprised at this point, standing still for 5 seconds. She couldn't understand why Parker would kill his own teammates. She angrily rushed to attack Parker, but he used a poisoned blade to stab her, making her convulse. It turned out that his goal was to obtain the Hien Quan's secrets and eliminate the Hien Quan, Whoever had it would hold ultimate power. He knew this when he fought with the crime boss and forced him to ingest the deadly poison. The hacker Kia also worked for him. He didn't allow her to log out and injected a smart chip into her before leaving. When the Heen Quan realized that their agent was in danger, they came to take her back to their base. However, they couldn't have anticipated that the device Parker injected into Stone's arm was a wireless network virus transmitter. When she regained consciousness after the daze, she quickly grabbed a knife from the doctor, removed the chip from her arm, and destroyed it. After dealing with the situation, they checked and found that the system was still functioning normally. They believed that the secrets were still securely held in a spacecraft at an altitude of 26,000 meters. However, Stone recommended that they shut everything down to thoroughly reassess the situation. The senior officer ignored her advice and loudly blamed her for disobeying the organization's orders. This attitude put the AL at risk. Stone was also blaming herself for not recognizing Parker as the enemy earlier and for the deaths of her two teammates. She told the senior officer not to rely too heavily on the AI because, in the end, it was just a machine. As a result, Stone was fired from her position. While sitting in sadness like a lonely dragonfly on the bus, she received a text message. "Do you want to continue playing with me?" Then, Hachiko Kia called her and taunted Stone. Filled with anger, she declared that because of her, two of her teammates had sacrificed their lives, and she vowed that at any cost, she would find her. On the other side, the senior officer handed her a stack of secret files. It turns out that Parker used to be a covert agent for the United Kingdom. In a mission to capture a notorious terrorist leader, all of his team fell into the enemy's trap. The intelligence reported that all the agents had been tortured. When the Heen Quan learned that there were no survivors and to prevent the terrorist leader from escaping, they launched a missile to obliterate the site. This incident was quickly buried, but no one thought that Parker had miraculously survived. From that point on, he nursed a deep grudge. His current goal was to destroy the Heen Quan and seek revenge against those who had abandoned him. Stone, now mentally shocked, broke into the house of the bearded man, using it as a temporary hideout. She then used the computer in the house to track down Kia's whereabouts. With just a few lines of code, which I don't know what they were since they were not provided, the beautiful woman was able to trace Kia's IP address. Stone quickly realized that Kia and Parker were targeting the spacecraft where the Heen Quan's secrets were hidden, which was currently hovering in the skies over West Africa. Meanwhile, Parker and his group arrived at an airport and indicated that they wanted to rent a helicopter to reach the location of the spacecraft. Kia mentioned that they had 8 minutes to take control of AL. If they couldn't escape in that time frame, they would die. Shortly after, AL's central system sounded the alarm about intruders. Kia and Parker followed a rope from the helicopter to approach the spacecraft. She inserted a USB drive to successfully bypass the door's encryption and gain access to the spacecraft. On the Heen Quan side, they tried everything to intervene but couldn't. No agents were operating within an 800-kilometer radius. At this moment, Stone, dressed like a squirrel, swooped in like a deity. Parker was about to take a shot but was stopped by Kia. He must have been unaware that a single gunshot here could trigger a massive explosion. Stone managed to approach the spacecraft and was trying to persuade Kia to stop. However, Parker played dirty and kicked her from behind, nearly breaking her back. She quickly got up and resolved to fight for her life. After a struggle, Parker managed to overpower Stone, and she nearly fell down below. Once Kia successfully retrieved the Heen Quan's secrets, she signaled Parker to leave immediately, leaving behind a bomb to destroy the spacecraft. Seeing them escaping, Stone pursued them rapidly, but Parker managed to trigger the explosion. The spacecraft detonated like a fireball. Stone, miraculously, managed to cling to a rope, and with superhuman reflexes, she caught Kia just in time before they both fell freely below. Since there was no parachute, she had to cling onto Kia and use a knife to make a makeshift landing. Kia had fainted, and Stone used her knife to make a hole in the sand so that they landed safely. Kia regained consciousness, pulled her gun on Stone, but she had already made Kia ingest some sand again and took the gun. Kia explained that Parker had obtained the Heen Quan's secrets, but she had encrypted it with her biometrics, so now, only she could activate it. Stone decided to spare her life, and the two of them set out to find a way to escape the Daer. Kia explained that her motive for working with Parker was to seek revenge and find the person who killed her parents. She agreed to follow Stone's guidance, and they continued their conversation. While they were talking, they noticed a vehicle approaching from a distance. Feeling sleepy but seeing a potential ride, they decided to hitch a ride. Stone took precautions by secretly attaching a tracking chip to Kia, as she didn't fully trust her. As they were planning to return to the village for a refreshing bath, they were suddenly ambushed. It turned out that these attackers had received payment from the blonde man to kill Stone. In this dire situation, the 36 stratagems became their last resort. Stone had to run because there were no other options. Their enemies were armed with Alaska 47 rifles and posed a serious threat. Stone ran to a cliff, with no way out but to jump into the sea. The assassins couldn't swim, so they helplessly stood on the shore. On the other side, the attackers ruthlessly killed a kind-hearted woman who was driving a vehicle right in front of Kia, making her regret her cooperation with them. Stone swam to the shore, using every ounce of strength she had left to make it safely to the beach. When she lay exhausted on the shore, a Hien Quan agent appeared. It turned out that the senior officer had previously instructed one of his agents to come and assist Stone. After boarding the aircraft and taking a few painkillers, the senior officer informed them that after the theft of the spacecraft, all the information of the agents could be compromised. The priority now was to evacuate everyone to a safe location. A rescue team was being formed and prepared to respond to her situation. As for the senior officer and his team, they were heading to an underground base to evade Parker's pursuit. Parker, after bringing Kia back from the desert, had reached another base that had been prepared in advance and used it to activate the spacecraft. Immediately, Kia uncovered the truth about the death of her parents. However, Parker brushed that aside, focusing on the task of obtaining information about the Hien Quan's leaders. Using her hacking skills, Kia quickly found the information and the location of the seniors. Parker then ordered an elevator drop, causing many people to die. Angrily, Kia questioned Parker about why he had killed so many people. He remained silent and then ordered his subordinates to kill 1 million people to satisfy his twisted sadistic desires. Kia was horrified by Parker's cold-bloodedness and his disregard for the lives of innocent people. Furthermore, the system located the senior officer, and then it locked everyone inside and shut down the ventilation fans. He sealed the underground chamber and released all the oxygen outside. Calculations suggested that the oxygen levels inside would only be enough to sustain life for about an hour. On the other side, Kia had no more advice to offer, as Parker was unresponsive. She realized that Parker wanted the spacecraft for his lust for power and secretly uploaded encryption software to neutralize the spacecraft. She then contacted Stone to send her the actual coordinates of their location. At this moment, Jia Tef and his 500 comrades had infiltrated a room at the university, with the purpose of capturing Parker. Unbeknownst to them, they were walking into a trap. When Stone learned of this, she tried to warn them through a radio, but it was too late. The entire place exploded, causing not only Jia Tep's team but also innocent civilians to suffer the consequences. On Parker's side, he was celebrating his apparent victory when the entire system was rendered useless. Enraged, he went to search for Kie. On the other side, the senior officer and his team had tried everything to escape but were unsuccessful. They resorted to using an old-fashioned landline phone, and fortunately, they managed to establish contact with Stone. They informed her that they needed to quickly locate Parker and regain control of the spacecraft. Otherwise, within the next 50 minutes, everyone there would run out of oxygen, and it would be a life or death situation. Stone assured them that she was on her way to deal with Parker and would come to rescue them afterward. She hopped on a motorcycle and headed out to find him. However, life has a way of throwing curveballs, and she was suddenly ambushed. The blonde man was relentless in his pursuit of her. Stone, who was an experienced racer since her childhood, found a way to evade him. She climbed onto a truck and allowed her own motorcycle to collide with his, effectively removing him from the chase. After incapacitating the pursuer, Stone quickly made her way to the central control facility. Over here, Kie is hiding from Parker's search, but when he tries to run away, he is stopped by his guards. When Stone got inside, she easily defeated these little guys. This lady is a super agent, not a beauty queen, and Parker is on the right side with Kia forcing her to reconnect AL for her. Seeing that Stone was here, she tricked him into taking her there. Without any doubt, he responded, but while he was planning to sneak a shot, Parker discovered it and used Kia as a hostage. Standing in front of the man who attacked his comrades, Stone was very indignant, but still had to take the big picture first. She put down the gun to ensure Kie's safety. While he was excited, Kia stood up, giving Stone a chance to turn the situation around. Stone immediately rushed in and exchanged moves with him. During the struggle, she was unfortunately hit by a bullet in the abdomen, but she still used all her strength to punch this guy low. But he took advantage of her being injured and repeatedly attacked that area, causing her to scream in pain. Kia rushed to help but was also punched by him and fell to the floor. When Parker was preparing to finish off Stone, she grabbed the gun that Kia threw to her and sent this cold-blooded guy up to the prison roof to look at the bunch of bananas. As everyone in Jia Ko's team was running out of oxygen and preparing to evacuate, Stone, on the other hand, managed to regain control of the Quanco and reopen the ventilation system in the bunker, saving everyone in time. At the end of the film, Stone returned to the Resistance, and not only that, she also extended an invitation to Kia to work with her. This is a recently released action movie called Heart of Stone 2023, often referred to as the Impossible Mission version on Netflix. It must be said that this is a film worth watching. Besides the presence of the beautiful Gal Gadot, other elements, such as captivating music and explosive action scenes, have been executed excellently, making it a blockbuster. The lesson learned is not to underestimate women, especially when they're as beautiful as Stone. That's the end of our movie today. If you found this video enjoyable, please don't forget to like, share the video, and subscribe to our channel to support us. Thank you, everyone.